to take back our country. And we're going to do that by running the obnoxious gas out. That's what we're going to do in Texas. We've got to start with all of these guys down in Austin. Austin's going to save America. Do you know that? It has the possibility of it. If we can get enough guys down there, decent guys who are really going to do something. Now, I get so frustrated, and I'm sure they're great guys. But when a guy comes to me and says, I'm running for Speaker of the House, and this is why, right? I'm on board with you. Because what we need to do is we need to initiate some bills, okay, that'll stop these benefits going to all these people that are sucking off the welfare system. And if we do away with that, guess what's going to happen? They're going to leave and they're going to go to a blue state, someplace else. Because they won't get the benefits in Texas, so they're going to leave. And that will stop Texas from becoming purple or blue in the future. But when that guy comes to me and says, I'm running for Speaker and this is why, and I say, okay, and I call everybody I know, I say, start calling your representative, I want you to support this guy for Speaker. And all of a sudden he drops off and says, nah, you know what, I think this guy has a better shot. I'm going to give it to him. Really? And then I'm sure that guy was a great guy. But then when he stands up and says, nah, there's going to be too much pressure put on other people. Some people may get mad at me for saying this, but let me tell you that. When you asked me to go into combat, I didn't say, nah, there's going to be too many bullets flying my way. Nah, it's not going to work out for me. I don't expect that guy running for Speaker to do it either. Sacrifices have to be made. And if it ruins your political career, so be it. Go home and find something else. How about go home and make a living like everybody else? Okay, now I know they're not getting a bunch of money down there in Austin. They just get reimbursement. But how about go home and live like a normal person? If you are not prepared to go to Austin and to Washington to do what the American people told you to do, go home. I don't want you there. Go home. I'm fed up. I'm fed up. I've had it. And so now I don't pull any punches. I'm not politically correct. And probably never will be again. Don't want to be, and I don't care who doesn't like it. I'm an American. My ancestors fought for this country. One of the reasons I love Texas so much is you're so much like South Carolinians. My wife's from the Arklatex. I'm from South Carolina. But you're like us, because remember, we started the Civil War. We were very instrumental in the Revolutionary War, because we had that same attitude. Don't mess with us. We don't mind fighting. And I'm not going down without a fight. I go out and talk to everybody I can. We got to start with the children. We went around on Constitution Day. They have Constitution Day in Texas every year. Did you know that? In the school system. You have the right to go into the school system and talk about the Constitution. I spent a whole day going to all the schools there where we live, teaching the Constitution. And you know what? Those kids, 5th graders, they loved it. They still come up to me and go, Mom, this is the man who taught me the Constitution. Next year what I want to do is I want to roll up a little scroll, the Constitution, Bill of Rights. And I want to hand them this Bill of Rights as they walk back to go back to their classroom. And I want to say, this is your Bill of Rights. These are your rights. Hold on to them. Put them someplace safe. Don't let anybody have them. Don't let anybody take them. Because when they are gone, you will never get them back. They've been programming our kids for years. Now it's our turn. You cannot sit at home and say, oh, how was school today, little Johnny? You've got to go down and sit in on the school. And I don't care what they tell you. They don't want you there, pull your kid out of school. My kids go to Kimber Academy, the same school that Glenn Beck's kids go to. Okay, mine were there long before Glenn's were. They go, what is it, Tracy, 3 days a week? She goes 3 days a week. Now, she doesn't go to the actual campus now. My youngest, she does it online. She does it online, and she can sit there and text a question into the teacher and get an answer back live, right over the internet. They go 3 days a week, 4 hours a day, no homework, they advance 5 times faster than the national average. How's that work? And no propaganda, no communism, no socialism. Most of their readers are out of the Bible. They study people like Cleon Skousen. Did you see this book? Hold that up, Tracy. Cleon Skousen's book there. If you've ever read Cleon Skousen, he was one of the pioneers in the conservative movement. And we knew Cleon when he was alive. He's an amazing writer. You have to get involved. Your grandkids, your kids, go to the school. Look at their curriculum. See what they're being taught. Quiz them when they come home. If they say something that's not right, go to the school and tell them. Just like with that school superintendent, they start doing the moonwalk. I never seen anybody dance like that in my life. Because they don't want you to question them. They want you to be little slaves in servitude that will do whatever they say. I sit there and I watch the movie Lincoln. You know how many people, black people, got up and walked out of that movie? Because they said it was propaganda. Really? Really? Oh yeah, because the Republicans wanted you in slavery. Really? Maybe you should study history. But they don't. They're lied to all the time. Maxine Waters. I'm going to say this, and I normally, please forgive me, I'm a good Christian man. But I'm going to tell you something, and I hope somebody sends Maxine Waters a copy of this. I have never seen a bigger piece of scum in my life. And I mean that. She's scum. You know why she's scum? Because she lies. She does nothing but lie to people. It doesn't matter what the truth is, she twists it. She does it for her own gain. That's what the Democratic Party does. That's what the progressive movement is all about. She's got a video where the second half, George Bush's second term, they're having an investigation. They believe that he manipulated the voting machines. That's another thing. Right now, contact your representatives and do not let up. Tell them to do away with the electronic voting machines and go back to paper. We have to do that because they're too easy to manipulate. That's how Barack Obama got elected. He did not win this election. You're not going to tell me that there are 200 precincts where not one person voted for Mitt Romney. That's a lie, and they know it, and you've got to be stupid to expect me to believe that. Maxine Waters gets up there, and she brings a guy in. It's on YouTube. And they have him doing this testimony where he's talking about writing the code. He says a Republican hired him to write the code. Way back then. Maybe he did. I don't know. The Republicans aren't perfect either. They're just as much at fault. And they get this guy, says he wrote the code. And that he wrote the code so that it'll give you a 51-49 outcome. Now this is congressional testimony. A 51-49 outcome. And if you go in looking for it, the code will eat itself. After a certain amount of time, the code will delete itself. Now, being armed with this information and knowing Maxine Waters like we all do, is there anybody in here who really believes that Maxine Waters did not, with the Democratic Party and the progressives, with Barack Obama, use that in this last election? I guarantee they did. How many times did we hear people? My wife did. Walked in, pushed Mitt Romney, and Dictator Obama popped up. So she went back to Mitt Romney, Obama popped up. Nobody's going to tell me they didn't use it. We have got to get out and get aggressive. Stop being so nice. I'm telling you now, the niceties are over with. I don't advocate violence, but I will tell you, it's time to call things what they are. There's somebody standing at bank line and they're telling an untruth, you turn around and tell them that's not true. And you make sure that everybody that they just lied to gets the truth. Everywhere you are, you do that. Monitor your kids, your grandkids, go in and listen to what's being taught in school. Then you'll know what they're hearing. You have control over what they're being taught. And we're not going to let them program them like Hitler's youth or the Khmer Rouge, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to program our children. We've got to get those people down in Austin on the ball. People ask me, where do we start? There's too many of them. To go through their records, you're missing the point. Has anybody been doing their job? Put everybody on the chopping block. And then go back and figure out who you want to save, because that's going to be the easy job. Everybody else has got to go. Everybody else has got to go. There's not that many worth saving. I'm sorry, but it's the way it is. And that's the only way we're going to save this country. That's the only way we're going to save this country. We need to hold those guys in Austin and the ones in Washington to the same standards that we hold our military to. Those guys who live in foxholes, have bombs dropped on them. They go down under the ocean in submarines with nuclear bombs all around them. They parachute out of airplanes. Okay? They do things because they were expected to do it, and you taught them a sense of duty. Those guys won't do it. We need to hold them to it, or we need to get rid of them. And if we hold them to it, we will save Texas. But we've got to start now. And if we save Texas, we will save America. And let me tell you something else. America is the guardian of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I don't care what anybody tells you. If America falls, the gospel of Jesus Christ will fall. We cannot let that happen. We cannot let that happen. We have to hold them to the same standards, and if we do that, then America will continue to be one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I promise you. Thank you so much for your time.